Welcome back, guys. On our previous video, we introduced this kind of a function which is called a linear, which is a straight line function. Now on this video, we're going to take a look at how to find the y and the x-intercept. Before we talk about how to find them, first we have to understand what is an x-intercept and what is an y-intercept. So an x-intercept, I'll start with the y actually. An y-intercept is the value that touches the x-axis on your graph. If we can take a look at the green line here, the y-intercept of it is the point that touches the y-axis. Let me just let that kind of information sink into your brain. The y-intercept is the point that touches the y-axis of the graph. So this graph of the green one, it touches the y-axis where here, which this point it is called what? The y-intercept. But what about the x-intercept? The x-intercept is the point in the graph that touches the x-axis. So if you can take a look at this green one again, what will be our x-intercept? Our x-intercept is going to be this b. Why? Is because it touches the x-axis of what? Of the Cartesian plane of ours. So what I also want you to understand is how to find these two things. And another thing before we talk about how to find these two things, I want you to understand that an x-intercept and the y-intercept, they already have one coordinate on it without finding the remaining ones. Just take a look at this one. Look at the point B that is here. What is the x value of that point B that is there? The x value of point B here is 0 because it is from the origin, So the point B is 0 and what? And y, which we don't know. Have you ever noticed that? Do you notice that actually right now? It has a point 0 here, which is because it lies on the origin, but the y value, we don't know it. And also look at this point D, which is the x-intercept here. It has the y value of 0 because it lies on the origin, but the x value we don't know, but the y value we know that is 0 because it lies on the origin. These two things, if you understand it, you're going to understand it very well how to find the x and the y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept each and every time, we have to let x be equal to 0. Why we let x be equal to 0 is because on the y-intercept, we already have the x coordinate of what? Of the y-intercept. Where, look at this point B, is the y-intercept of ours. Remember, the y-intercept is the point that touches the y-axis here. And also this point C is the y-intercept. So this point B here, it already have 0 on it. So to find the value of y, we just have to substitute 0 on what? On the x value. Remember, any coordinate, it is consists of the x value and the y coordinate, So the x value of this one is always going to be equal to 0. The x value of the y-intercept is always going to be equal to 0. So hence, to find the y-intercept, we always put 0 on the x values. So our equation is this one. To find the y-intercept, we have to put 0 to the value of x. So our y is going to be equals to 2, which is equals to 0 minus 1. And then our answer is going to be negative 1. Our y is going to be equals to negative 1. But this, it does not say anything. What they need is the coordinate. Whenever they ask you to find the x-intercept or the y-intercept, they are interested in the what? In the coordinates. So how are we going to have our coordinate? Our coordinate here, since the x value is 0, it's going to be 0 and what? And negative 1. Why do we put 0 here? It's because any y-intercept, it has a point of 0 here. Why? Is because it is an y-intercept is the point that is found where? In the y-axis of what? Of the graph. So this is the y-intercept. This is not the y-intercept. It's the y coordinate of what? Of the an x-intercept. This is an x-intercept, and I hope that to you it is clear. So now let's go and take a look at how can we find the x-intercept of this. What is an x-intercept? As I explained, the x-intercept is the point that touches the x-axis of what? Of this kind of Cartesian plane. And it is already have the y-coordinate on it, which is 0. The y-coordinate is 0, but the x value don't know it. We have to find that kind of an x value. And to find it, we have to let y be equal to 0. Why do we let y be equal to 0? It's because on any point that is an x-intercept, it already have a point of y which is 0. Look at this point A here. What will be the y value of it? It's going to be 0. Why? Is because it is on the origin. Any point that is here, the y value of it, the y coordinate of it is going to be always be equal to 0. Now, so to find the x-intercept, we have to let y be equal to 0. So where in our equation, which is our equation is y2x minus 1. I just want to write so they can be able to see it. So whenever there is y, we're going to put 0 and 2x minus 1. And then we solve for x. That kind of an x value that we're going to find, it will be our x coordinate. So then we're going to take this one to the other side, which is going to be 1 and 2x and divide by 2 and divide by 2. And then our x here is going to be equals to 1 over 2. Bear in mind, this is not an x-intercept. It's a what? It's an x-coordinate of what? Of the x-intercept. The x-intercept is what? Is the coordinate, which is this one, which is going to be have 1 over 2 and what? And 0. Why do we have 0 here? It's because any x-intercept, it already have the y coordinate which is equal to 0 because it is found at an x-axis of what? Of the graph. Another thing I want you to understand, finding the y-intercept, you don't need to do this kind of stuff to put 0. Why? Is because on our previous video, we say that on this equation, the point that is always here is called the y-intercept. So if we have this kind of an equation, what will be our y-intercept here? Our y-intercept is going to be this one, which is the value of c that is here. So the value of y is going to be equal to -1, and then our coordinate is going to be 0 and -1. So it is not necessary on a straight line to calculate the y-intercept by using this kind of method, while you can be able to see it here. Where it is necessary is to find the x-intercept because you cannot be able to see it there. So I hope this video has explained and it has explained absolutely everything about the x and the y-intercept.